It's the cheaper, the better, and the faster version of the Ford Focus ST. So you want a MazdaSpeed 3. This is the MazdaSpeed 3, a 263 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque, 4-cylinder turbo hatchback that Mazda somehow produced in 2007. It actually started in 2006 with the MazdaSpeed 6, the all-wheel drive Mazda 6 sedan. I think made 267 horsepower, just a little bit more. They took that same motor, slapped it in the MazdaSpeed 3, which at the time was a fuel economy car, and must I say, what a decision they made, because at that time, this was unreal for its time. At that time, the GTI only made 200 something horsepower and the STI was only making 293. I mean, that's only 30 horsepower off. And this is Mazda just jumping into the game with a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Obviously, it was, helped out by Ford, but Ford decided to go the route and make a slower, cheaper version in the Ford Focus ST. Sorry, Ford Focus ST lovers, but I think the better choice is right in front of us. Enough slander of the Ford fans. This is why you want to buy a MazdaSpeed 3. This is coming from someone that's I think I've owned like 3 Mazda 3 sedans in this generation. I've owned 3 MazdaSpeed 3s, 2 in this gen, 1 in the second generation. So this is coming from someone who's personally owned one and why I think you should maybe buy one and maybe why not you should maybe not buy a MazdaSpeed 3. Okay? Every time I drive one of these cars, I think, what the hell, Mazda? Like, what did you make? You drive it and you think, 2007, like, this is crazy, man. I was 7 years old. Mazda was making something unreal, and it's just kind of forgotten about nowadays. Obviously, I don't know why. I really don't know why. Let's go ahead and talk about the years that you could buy these in and everything you need to know. Mazda made these from 2007 to 2012. The generation and the look changed in 2010, where they introduced the second generation Mazda 3 and MazdaSpeed 3. Although it was the same car, but me personally, I think the second gen resembled more of a Ford product than the first gen did. The inside for me was just a little cheap. If you guys take a look at the interior design, kind of looks like a Ford. That's just me personally. Both gens shared the same pretty much suspension hardware, the same motor, the same everything. If you're buying an aftermarket part for the first gen Speed 3, it's probably going to fit your second gen Speed 3 as well. Second gen Speed 3s tend to be a bit more expensive when you go to front mount intercoolers or even catback exhaust due to the dual exit, not having enough room in the front for a front mount. The exterior of this car is, well, could you say sleeperish? This is a sleeper. Does this look like a sleeper to you? This car probably makes about 290 to the wheel right now. This specific car is modified. Like if someone pulled up beside you and this thing took off, you'd say, oh my god, that's a Mazda 3 hatchback. Because I sure probably would if I was an NPC. Like I said, are sleek, stylish, but aren't too much. While the second gens I find obviously have the hood scoop, which is actually great for the top mount intercooler. They look like a shark. They look like they want to eat something alive. If that thing pulls up behind you, watch out, because it's probably faster than you. Things changed from the Mazda 3 when they did the Speed 3, like wheels, except these are second gen wheels, so this is not true. Bigger fenders, these are a lot wider. Different hood, different front bumper. Looking at the back of the car, you got the Speed 3 wing and a different rear bumper, but that's pretty much it. Like I said, man, this is like a Mazda 3. Same thing kind of goes with the second gen. The bigger front fenders, the hood scoop, the hood, the front bumper. The rear bumper was, I think the same, and a MazdaSpeed 3 wing and some wheels to set it off. It basically looks the same as a Mazda 3, except you got these beautiful, and I love these seats. These seats are so nice. Bucket seats with MazdaSpeed stitching on them, red leather stitching, steering wheel. And obviously this isn't like a 2023 car, but you still got cruise control. You got steering wheel mounted volume buttons. You got traction control button. You got automatic or like manual level, well, like headlight leveling over here. Beep, boop, beep. You can like change it from your cabin. I think that's pretty cool. You can get heated seats in the US version. So if you're United Stadian, congratulations. You can get these in leather as well. We didn't get that here in Canada. Automatic climate controls. That's pretty cool. You got AC. You got a six CD stereo, changing stereo. But a lot of you guys don't know what that is. If you're 16, you probably never had a car with one of those in it. No Bluetooth, so you get a Bluetooth transmitter. Second gens had a Bluetooth though. Second gens also had heated seats. Second gens also had power seats in some of the trim levels. There was tech and, oh! You get Bose. But it's funny because in the States, if you got the base model Speed, you didn't get Bose. We always got Bose in Canada. There's a lot in this interior. Never aged for me. I've had one of these cars since I got my license, and 6-7 years later I still love it. Obviously when you get into an Audi and you get into one of these, yeah, it feels a little cheap, but there's a lot of stuff you can do tastefully in these to make them feel updated and everything. And like I said, it's all driver centric. It feels great to drive in. Oh my god, it's so hot. And I have absolutely no complaints about the interior, and I don't think you will either. Just so we're clear, this is not what your average engine bay of a MazdaSpeed 3 is going to look like. There's things like you'll see in here: an aftermarket top mount intercooler, an aftermarket blow off valve, an aftermarket intake, probably some stuff on the other side like a passenger motor mount that's aftermarket that we did a video on. If you guys want to see how easy that is to do, check out the channel and maybe hit that subscribe button. Coilovers in there too. You can see the little knobs on the end. Did you guys hear that? The knobs on the end. Like I said, man, 2006 Mazda's just like, oh yeah, let's just, you know, whip up something cool. And they made a 263 horsepower 4-cylinder turbocharged by a K04, which made 280 foot-pounds of torque. It made a little bit of torque steer. Hold on with two hands, bucko row, because your little Honda Civic with 120 horsepower doesn't know what torque steer is. It's never experienced that in its life. I'm just kidding. No hate on the Honda, guys. Compared to a 6-speed manual transmission with a limited slip differential up front, you're going to be putting power down like crazy. You're probably going to chirp a couple gears too. And when it's easy to put these kind of modifications down, to put 290 wheel horsepower basically from full bolt-ons without a bigger turbo, it gets rowdy. This is reliable as you could be in 2007. Like seriously, this is a lot. This is a lot of car for what they're priced at right now, and they're only going up. Now with all that I've said, you got to ask yourself the question: reliable? Are these things reliable? And now that's really hard to say. You'll find a lot of these cars are high mileage, and to be fair and honest with you, they're all going to be beat. For some reason, they're so cheap to maintain, but people don't maintain them. And if you find one that's not been maintained, that motor is just, I don't want to say it's not good, but there's chances that the turbo's on its way out. Cylinder 4, it's a little hot in the first gens. The VVT, the timing chain, gets a little stretched out and stressed, and then that'll blow up, and then you'll have no motor anymore. Oil consumption that people don't realize about. It's actually really not that, like, it's not bad. My second gen was a very low-K, well-maintained early in its life, and that was probably incredibly, that was actually really, like, it was really reliable. Never gave me a problem. I bought one of these cars in red, rusty. Oh man. That was a problem. Don't buy a rusty Mazda 3 at all, okay? This one has been actually really good. Tear down, full assessment, intake, turbo, everything, and everything's nice and clean. I think I got really lucky with this one. Like, the thing is too, the big problem right now is that these kind of cars are going up in value. And at this point, I don't believe, personally, where I'm located, like this car is worth about 13,000 Canadian, which is like 9,000 US, probably 10,000 US. For me, 13,000 Canadian for one of these cars that I know is probably going to be beat up is just not worth it for me. If you can find one that's had the VVT done, oh, keep in mind the 2012s and the 2013s didn't have VVT problems, so nice. Get one of those, but those are expensive. They're like 20K cars, man. They're starting to get priced with the Ford Focus ST, which is like less valuable. Wink. Sorry, Ford Focus, guys. It's really, really warm. That sun, it's like 30 degrees out today, and it's 12 o'clock. Make sure it's had all the maintenance done. There's tons of buyer's guides. If you guys want me to make a buyer's guide, let me know. Suspension, everything. Like, you can even watch the past few videos have been like, I've done a full front suspension rebuild because this car needed it. I got to cut the rear end links out because they're rusty, which is going to be another video. Maybe that's already released. I'm not sure. By no means am I saying that they're a bad car, but you just need to be careful with what you're buying. You need to drive them a specific way. They need to be healthy, or they might give you some problems. Remember, this is a car built in 2007 that made, you know, what a V6 is making in a sports car. So you got to just be cautious of that, and that it's pretty much a Ford product, and somehow they made Mazda's products more reliable than their own products. Ford, what are you doing, man? What were you doing back then? They're not bad cars by any means. So what's the answer here? Should you buy one in 2023? Yes, you should definitely buy one in 2023. Why would you not? I personally believe this is a timeless classic, like the '69 Camaro or Mustang. Nah, I'm just never mind. Seriously, I will always see one of these and say that is an awesome car. Like I said, it always looks good to me. It'll never get old. I specifically like the first gens more, even though they have more motor problems. Like the VVTs are pretty much guaranteed to go, and cylinder number 4 likes to go ka-da-boom, really high mileage if you're not taking care of it. I love it. It's a beautiful car. Second gens are cool too. Don't get me wrong. If you like the more features, that's definitely your go-to. With how everything is priced nowadays, and with these pretty much being a rare gem on the market, I have to say 2023 is definitely an investor's piece for the MazdaSpeed 3 as they are going up in value. So get your hands on one now. I bet you're gonna go to Craigslist or Marketplace and check out some MazdaSpeed 3 listings after this, huh? Let me know if you do. That's a video for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to subscribe button, leave a like on the video, and comment down below. Other than that, me and my trusty MazdaSpeed 3 are gonna go off into the blazing sun. And oh, the AC in these cars, so good. The speeds, for some reason, so good. And you know what's really cool is that when you put the AC on, like, you know, the 4-cylinder joke, gotta turn my AC off to go fast. You don't need to do that. It always goes fast. Yeah, anyways. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I'll see y'all in the next one.